a driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. So we're going to focus on the whole process from A to Z. So first, we're going to talk about vehicle controls and operation. When you're learning how to drive, you're either going to be driving an automatic that has a 4 speed, 5 speed, 8 speed, or 10 speed transmission that automatically shifts once you put it in D for drive, or we're going to be driving a manual, which is a 4 speed, 5 speed, 6 speed, 7 or 8 speed. It just depends on automotive manufacturer and depends on where you live. Here in the United States, we primarily drive automatics. About 90% of our cars are automatics, and then the other 10% are manuals. In the UK, it's quite different. I do come across some UK students, and we do talk about some of these things, but our focus primarily will be on American-made cars, but it will cross over to the UK, to Australia, to the Middle East, to India. We also drive on the right, RIGHT, on the right side of the road. The UK, Australia, India, they drive on the left. So let's go ahead and get into it. Difficulty with clutch control, manual transmissions. One of the biggest things that I see, and I've driven a manual before, and I have to admit, I was horrible. Do you hear me? I was horrible because I kept stalling the car out. I didn't have good accelerator, clutch accelerator timing, and I would lift the clutch and not give the car enough gas, and then it would stall. So my first manual experience was with a Volkswagen. Hey, how are you doing? We're talking about vehicle control and operation. Feel free to put in questions, give it a thumbs up. We're going to learn a lot. Next is oversteering or understeering. Beginning drivers, adult drivers, teen drivers oversteer. They overturn the wheel. And if you overturn the wheel, you're going to overload the front tires and the rear of the car will spin out. Also, when you're making right turns, if you just turn the wheel halfway, the car won't turn. It will literally go straight. Thank you for the thumbs up, right? It's really important that you understand that we're really trying to help people understand about driving. So you don't want to turn too sharply or not enough to navigate curves. Let's continue. Braking too hard. A lot of beginners hit that brake too hard. And if you hit the brake too hard, you're going to have jerky stops. And then what's going to happen, you need to have better speed control. A lot of beginners hit the brake too hard. I want you to, like, this is the ball of my hand. I want you to use the ball of your foot. We don't hit the brake really hard. We use the ball of our foot and we gradually push down to squeeze the brake. You always hear me say squeeze the brake. Never hit the brake really hard. Jerky steps cause discomfort for the passengers. You'll lose points on your road test and you will get rear-ended. Next, accelerating too quickly. A lot of beginners hit the gas too hard. We want to have gradual acceleration. Losing control on wet pavement or slippery roads, that can happen, and that can make drivers very nervous, very stiff, and literally they can lose control when they first get into the car. So it's really important. Yes, Bella, you want to slow down, gradually slow down. You never want to go into a turn too fast. Finding the right gear. Let's go back to me driving that yellow Volkswagen. I used to work at the YMCA, and a member said, hey, you can drive my car. I'm like, sure. It was a manual Volkswagen. And I'm like, so I kind of knew how to drive a Volkswagen. I knew that you had to push the clutch in to get it started, and you have to move the shifter to make sure it's in neutral. But after that, I kept stalling the car out. Like I could start it, put in first gear, but I kept stalling the car out. It was horrible. I went to go pick up my cousin, and that was an adventure. Let me tell you. Misjudging speed. A lot of beginners go way too slow on your first drive, but the speed limit is 45. You're going to be driving about 35, 10 under the limit. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to start inviting road rage in. We need to drive at the speed limit. On the other hand, I have 3 to 5% of, thank you for the thumbs up. I have 3 to 5% of students who drive over the speed limit. That is very scary for the instructor as well as students in the car. Do yourself a favor. Drive at the speed limit. Next, Difficulty parking. Parking is one of the pain points that all drivers go through. You have to know how to parallel park, stall park, angle park, parallel park. You have to know how to maneuver your vehicle and be within 12 inches, 1, 2, away from the curb. Some communities, some jurisdictions, if you're more than 12 inches away, you will get a ticket. So I need you to remember you don't want to hit the curb while parallel parking, but you want to be able to maneuver and get in about 12 inches to the curb. Struggling with heel starts, rolling backwards, that is very scary in itself too. You have to have your foot on the brake. You have to start your vehicle. You put down that handbrake. You push the clutch in. You hold that brake. Then you put the car in gear and you give it some gas to get that car moving up instead of rolling back on that incline. That is very scary. I've been through some of those situations. In fact, my heart is beating right now thinking about it. Is your heart beating right now thinking about it? You've got to really know how to maneuver on heels. Next, over revving the engine. When you have a manual, many drivers tend to over rev the engine. You're shifting gears and you might miss a gear. We're not power shifting or drag racing. You'll blow the transmission up. You will mess up the synchronizer in second and third gear. And I've had my experiences messing up manual transmissions 3 or 4 times because I was out there power shifting. Yes, many drivers are not properly licensed either. That is correct. And thank you so much for bringing attention to that. I really appreciate you. Confusion with dashboard controls. A lot of beginners don't understand the blinkers, the check engine light, the speedometer, the odometer. So you really need to familiarize yourself with the dashboard. We call it dashboard bingo, and I'll have some activities for you very soon. When you drive, you should drive with some. Yes, you need to have a coach. Thank you. You need to have a coach, someone with you who has more experience to be your co-pilot. So turning the wrong way, turning on the wipers instead of the blinker. A lot of beginners do that. I tell them make a right turn, they turn on their blinker and they turn on the wipers, then it confuses them. Or I tell them make a left turn, they turn on the bright headlights. The other cars start flashing their headlights. So I have to kind of calm students down, simmer down. Next, navigating traffic, merging into traffic, hesitating, and causing other drivers to honk. This happened to us today. I was driving a student who was 24. As soon as the light turned green, honk. I'm saying to myself, whoa, can we even like start moving? So people are really impatient. It was rush hour. That doesn't give them a right to honk. We have the student driver sat on top of our car. We have to be patient, and you should have a good coach with you to be ready. And don't honk at student drivers. If you see us, get away from us. Leave us alone. Give us room to maneuver. Changing lanes, missing blind spots. You have to be, it's blinker, turn signal, blind spot. If I'm making a lane change to left, turn in your blinker, check your mirrors, look over your shoulder. You have to do that shoulder check. I'm looking to my left, blind spot. I'm looking to my right, blind spot. You like my red sweater? Looks nice, doesn't it? Exactly. Pay attention to us. If not, sign up for driving class. Yes, that is correct. 100%. I'm going to have to get you as one of my moderators. That's for real, right? You do have to be patient. We all are learning. Like if I have to drive a manual again, I might stall it out 4 or 5 times. If I get nervous and people honk at me, I might stall the car out. Thank you. I might stall the car. Hey, P, how are you doing? But you have to know how to be comfortable in the car. And that was the biggest thing that day. I was driving a client. She was on her second drive. She was so smooth, had good speed control. Last time she was 10 under the limit. I'm saying, oh my God, right? It requires patience and experience. That is correct. And me being patient, like I was relaxed. The first time I drove with her, there was snow on the ground. She hadn't driven in a year. And of course I was nervous. She was more nervous than me. The second drive was today. Clear, no snow, very comfortable, great speed control, making most lights. Turns were a little wide, but overall, it was really good. Not hugging left or right. And I was smiling because she was doing so good. 25 years old. She's going to get her license. It takes time. So navigating roundabouts, taking the wrong exit. Thank you for the hearts. It means a lot. I've had a lot of students go the wrong way on the roundabout. So instantly, I turn the wheel. I help them. I don't grab the wheel because that humiliates someone. I support them. And those of you who see me or been here, see my life, you know, I'm all about helping people. I'm all about that positivity. I'm all about that vibe. Yes, driving is a privilege, not a right. 100%. 100%. Right? And let's talk about yielding the right of way. A lot of beginning drivers are confused. If you're at a four-way stop, the first car to get there is the first car to go. If two cars come together at the same time, the car on the right has the right of way. So pause. If you're not sure, tell the person you can go. Make eye contact with drivers. Dealing with aggressive drivers, feeling intimidated by tailgaters. My driver today, we weren't being tailgated. Thank you for the hearts. That means so much. That tells me I'm doing the right thing. That tells me you're learning. You see value. Keep giving that thumbs up. Dealing with aggressive drivers. The first time my client drove, we were 10 under the limit. Cars were tailgating us. They didn't want to be around us. She hesitated at lights. The second drive, when she got into the car, she got up to the edge. She was looking left and right. We waited like 30 seconds, and then she went. She turned the wheel. But I took her on a course. We went on sub streets, service drives. We had 5 stop signs. We had yield signs. We had pedestrian crossings. Know the signs, know the hand signals. And I was asking her, what does that sign mean? That's a warning sign. What is that sign? That's a regulatory sign. Because at the end of this month, she's going to be taking her road test. And we already stopped over at the road tester, already introduced her. And the road tester said to both of us, you make sure you train her and you take time. She drives tomorrow. And I'm so excited for her because she really was smiling today. Handling heavy traffic. A lot of beginners feel overwhelmed by stop and go traffic. On the way to the office, I drove on a side street, driving 35, 40 miles an hour, making most lights. You don't always have to go on a major thoroughfare. Yes, you got to use your mirrors. You have to make sure people see you. If you're making a lane change to the left, mirror, turn signal, blind spot. Look and check. If you don't look and check, you could hit a car. And she did say, I need to check my blind spots more. I was happy she kept the car in the lane. I was so excited that she was squeezing the brake and not slamming. Use your heel, use your head. 100%. Make sure the lights are on at night. Yes, we do have daytime running lights, but it is an older car, but still, she was driving so good. You had to be there. It was so positive, and I was like cheering. Misjudging gaps. The beginning, she did not misjudge gaps. She waited for it to be clear. She looked, and then she pushed the gas, and then she went out, right? During winter, make sure you're clean. Yes, I was a little guilty of that. I had snow on the top of the car. Some of you called me out on that. We got to make sure our car is totally clean. We got to make sure our windows are clean, our tail lights, our headlights, right? She was not rear-ending cars. She was stopping sooner. We did have on our hazards because we made a right turn and we were by the edge of the road. So I had her pull over. Thank you. As I was giving her some coaching points and we turned on our hazards, right? Next, navigating intersections. She did not run yellow lights. She made really good decisions. Why? Thank you for the hearts. I love it. She had really good speed control. And when you have good speed control, you're going to make most lights. Okay. I live in Orange County, California. I want to have a driving instructor like you. I'm in the Midwest, but what I want you to do, you could sign up for a coaching call. Click the link in my bio after this. I have one coaching call Friday at 3 o'clock. I'll have to go in there and check my schedule, but I have a stand store that's put up. And thank you. This really means so much. But I'm available for coaching calls, and I have some digital downloads that will do test prep, road test guides, knowledge tests. So just take a look at it. Parwin, take a look at it. And if there's certain things you want me to put in there, just let me know. Okay. Um, and then we're going to start a channel membership too. And I think it's important. There's some really great people here that I want to involve to be a moderator, right? I want them to moderate my chat, really help. And then I want to invite them in because there's a lot of bonus content that I can bring in to really help you. And I'm all about helping my community, right? So look at those ebooks and see if there's something you like. I have one ebook and then one coaching call, but I'm going to put more out. I'm just trying to follow. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Okay. Means a lot. And what I want to do, I'm going to invite you in and we'll figure it out. Right. Um, don't slam brakes real hard. The one thing that I noticed, never slam brakes because you will get rear-ended. Squeeze your brakes, check your rear mirror. That's one thing she wasn't doing. And she went from being all over the road to keeping the car straight, keeping her speed up, having nice stops, checking blind spots. She did really good. And you can see my smile. Dealing with pedestrians, not noticing them at the crosswalk. She was looking, using her eye movement. And I really want to mention that. Parking challenges, all of us. And I told her tomorrow, we're going to do parking, right? If you're going to slam the brakes, yes, you got to really be careful when you do that 100%. So parallel parking, scrape the car against another car. We are not going to do that. We do not want to knock mirrors. We want to keep space. Thank you for the hearts. Parking in tight spaces, struggling to fit in a narrow spot. In some downtown areas, downtown Detroit, downtown Houston, Texas, downtown Los Angeles, California, downtown Wichita, Kansas, you will have to maneuver in those tight spots. And that's downtown parking. I do have some downtown videos. You just let me know if you want me to get those up. Reversing into a spot, being able to back into a driveway, reverse angle park on the left side or right side, right? We went to the auto show in Metro Detroit, and you got to know how to park. You have to find a spot that your car can fit in, and you have to know how to parallel park. Thank you, E. Right? Thank you. I really appreciate all that you're doing. Let's keep it going. Exiting a spot, you got to turn your blinker, look over your shoulder, because if you pull out in traffic, it's your fault. You have to yell, "Hey, how are you doing?" Okay. We're talking about driving basics, beginner driving class. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach adults, I teach teens. We're going through the process. I'm covering this information. I do have a stand store available. We're going to get some of our favorite guests in here to be moderators. I'm going to collect some emails. I'll be sending some of my people free things, right? Because that's the right thing to do. Because all of you support me and I want to support you. Hello. Hey, how are you doing? Yes. Alan, is that you? Alan, did you sign up for a coaching call on Friday? Is that you, Alan? Okay, that could be Alan. Yes, Alan, I'm excited, right? Because I get a chance to talk to you one-on-one, navigate you, help you through the process. I'm so excited, right? Let's keep going. So misjudging parking spots, too close to another car. You don't want to squeeze your car in. You want to keep your car centered. You want to keep it square. And that's so important, right? Um, Thank you. I really appreciate all of you so much. Like, this is a special moment. And I can tell from the hearts, from the love, and just showing people I appreciate you, right? And it's about giving. Forgetting to check mirrors. We all forget occasionally to check mirrors. Hitting the curb while parking. You're going to damage your car, damage your rim. You don't want to do that. Let's go and talk about parking reverse. Struggling to align your car properly, we have to learn to back into a driveway, turning hand over hand to the right. The rear will go to the right. The front will swing out to the left. You got to know how to do those skills. Let's talk about road signs and rules. This is a whole class, right? This is a whole class. Stay on as long as you want. We're going through, there's a lot of information. Okay, this is a whole class. Road signs and rules, misjudging road signs, running stop signs accidentally. Never get comfortable without forgetting the rules. 100%, because the rules are there to protect us. The rules allow us to be safe. And in the event of an accident, one driver broke the rules. And then the police officer will determine who is at fault. That's correct. It is dangerous. Misinterpreting signs, confusing yield signs with merge signs. You are operating a machine that can potentially injure someone or take their life. And thank you. We do not want to have uh, about hand over hand. Does it save? So here's the deal. Um, some of you have learned hand to hand. Some of you have learned hand over hand. It depends on what governmental body you follow. If you follow the National Safety Transportation, they say hand over hand in parking, reversing into a driveway, low speed maneuvers. We know if we cross our hands, that's dangerous. Um, there are different ways to hold a steering wheel. AAA says 7 and 5. That's the governing body in my area. The National Highway Safety Transportation says in certain cases, hand over hand is an effective way. It depends on your biomechanics. I'm tall. I'm like 6'4". I weigh 270. I have long arms. Hand over hand might be easier for me. Some of you could be under 6 feet, shorter hands. It depends on what you were taught. Does your mom drive hand over hand? Do you drive hand over hand? Does your sister drive hand over hand? Does your dad drive with one hand? Right? Does your sister palm the wheel? Right? Does your mom throw it underhand? Right? Does your mom throw it underhand? It really depends on what you feel comfortable with. What did you see growing up? Your mom, your dad, your brother, your instructor, your uncle. Use what is comfortable for you. You'll get marked down if I yep. So you're gonna have to have your seat a little closer. You might do a little shuffle in the wheel because typically students who are between 4'11" and about 5'7", it depends on you. So there's no one best way. A lot of people love to argue on that, right? Definitely drivers with one hand, 50 years. Everyone is different. Okay. Yes. What about if you're a truck driver? Truck driver, you might have the little spinning thing, right? You might have the little spinning thing. School bus drivers, truck drivers, they could be turning. Okay, I'm not a truck driver. I'm not a school bus driver. I've been in those vehicles before. Everyone's a little bit different. Okay, but if I'm a truck driver or school bus driver, whatever my coach told me to do, I'm going to do it. Right? Um, Speed limit confusion, driving too fast or too slow. A lot of beginning drivers drive too slow. You're going to hold up traffic. Occasionally, I have one or two that drive too fast, and that's dangerous too because you're going what's comfortable for you. That's correct. Um, and then talk to your tester. Okay, if we're in the UK, the rules are slightly different than in America. If we're in America, our rules are slightly different than Australia. So you need to talk to your driving coach. You need to look in your manual. Right, slow down. Right, quit going so fast. You got that right. You need to look in your manual and see what is best for you. Ignoring no entry signs, going the wrong way. You see a lot of older drivers doing this, younger drivers doing this, tired drivers doing this. Confusion about traffic lights. That does happen to beginner drivers. If you're overstimulated, if your instructor's talking to you too much, you're nervous, you're already going too slow, you didn't use your blinker, and then a light changes. That happened to us. Also, yes, in America, we use the standard system. In the UK and other parts of the world, they use metric, 100%. Most American cars, they have the standard miles per hour. Then they have the metric. I get scared when my legs become numb. That is true. You gotta get out and stretch. If you're getting numb in the car, maybe it's your seating position. Real talk, right? Um, the one thing I want you to do is breathe. Take a breath, right? Take a breath. Yes, I need to get some sleep to get recharged. And one thing I read, you need to get at least minimum 7 hours sleep. And you know me, I'm pushing. I get up at 5. I leave at 6. I go live. I want to finish this. I'm going to talk about 12 more things, right? So you have to get your sleep to be refreshed, to feel rejuvenated. Okay. Um, Not understanding the rules of a roundabout. This is another panic area of beginning drivers. If you don't yield, traffic is coming from your left and you're going to get hit. Yield to traffic already in the traffic circle. Now, I know in the UK, you have all these roundabouts. I'm not hating. Here in the United States, within the last 10 years, 12 years, we have a lot more roundabouts. And I'm taking students through those roundabouts. Yield before you go in, look left, look right. Want to be about 15, navigate all the way through. Let's get some more thumbs up, guys. Missing delineator signals, getting lost due to road work. I try to reduce confusion for my beginning drivers. As E said, I'm your driving coach, I'm your co pilot. I want to go down to another section that I think is really important to you: anxiety, fear of highways, avoiding highways. You, when you're ready, I'll show you how to merge on. I have videos. I will support you. Most beginners go too slow on the ramp, and then there's a truck coming, and we're like, oh my God, we're about to get ran over. And my heart drops in my stomach. So I try to get you on that ramp and push that gas. Next, nervousness in heavy traffic, feeling overwhelmed and making mistakes. I told you my student today, she the speed limit was 45. She was about 40. Last time, she was at 32 or 35. So thank you for the thumbs up. It means a lot. Let's get some more hearts going. Um, you want to take your time. Okay. Do you use US learning cars in addition to pedals? Yes, we do. Great question. In our learning cars or driver's ed cars, we have another mirror. We have dual mirrors and dual brakes. We don't have a gas pedal on the passenger side, right? So those are our learning cars. And in the UK, they have the same thing. They have a brake, they have dual mirrors, but their steering wheel is on the right. Okay. The same thing in India. So, yes. And also, uh, we're in talks with another instructor. We're trying to put together some driver's education games that could be a game on your phone. So, we have some things in the works. Fear of parallel parking. A lot of people avoid it. Um, we want to train. We want to go into a neighborhood, line your car up, reverse back, turn all the way to the right. Hey Dave, what's going on? How you doing? Devin, what's going on? We're having a great talk, great positive energy. We're talking about driving basics, beginning driver class. We were talking about some of the UK things, uh, driving on the left, the steering wheel on the right. We were talking about different hand placements, driving a manual versus an automatic. So the conversation is very rich. And I've done some research on the UK before too. I think the UK may use learning standard cars, even your own ones. Um, I've seen some content creators in the UK, Clearview Driving School. The content creator there, a young lady, awesome, 1 million subscribers. She's incredible. Clearview Driving School, I would definitely recommend you looking at her content. And their learners are a little bit older than ours. They're driving in a downtown area. Um, could be London, could be a suburban area outside of London. Um, Driving a manual, going through roundabouts, their signage is a little bit different. Again, I'm not an expert in the UK, but I've watched a lot of their videos. And again, Clearview Driving School, the instructor there is phenomenal. And she tends to be a little bit more quiet than me. And she gives them directions and they have to maneuver. So it's very educational, very exciting to watch. So I would definitely recommend uh, that you look her up. And then she gave me a positive shout out too. So I'm blessed. So Clearview Driving School will edit this out and we'll give you a shout out. And I would love to do um, a uh, shout out together. I would love to do a partnership where we could talk about America versus the UK. I will definitely reach out. She's just awesome. So, fear of driving at night. That's a big fear I see too. A lot of these instructors, I don't see them driving at night. You see some of my videos, I'm out there. I'm out there at night. Our headlights aren't as bright. We have headlight glare. Drivers are drifting off to the right. And I have to admit, it is a little scary. So we want to focus on good vehicle control. In bad weather, we've had a lot of snow and ice. You've got to get out in the snow. I made some videos in the snow. You got to know how to drive, keep your car centered in the grooves, and lack of confidence. Don't second guess yourself. Drive with confidence. And again, I want to encourage you to sign up for a coaching call. Check my stand store, check the schedule. And then also we have one digital product. I'm going to put some more up. I'm following stand store recommendations, not putting too many e-products up, about 3. I have one offering of a digital ebook, and then I have the coaching call that is available for you. Guys and ladies, I wanted to talk about confidence. I wanted to talk about nervousness. I wanted to talk about anxiety, weather conditions, road signs, parking challenges. It's a lot. Navigating traffic, vehicle control. I want to thank all of you today for just support. And we're going to get some little surprises out for some of you who took the time. And again, I want to shout out my stand store. I want to shout out Clearview Driving School. I have some recommendations about driving at night. What I want you to do is, what time is it where you are? It is 9:07 Eastern Standard Time in the Midwest where I am. So I don't know where you are, or what part of the world are you in? So listen, I do have to go. I'm going to record this and get it out. I want to say thank you. Okay, same. Okay. Well, listen, I have to go set up some adult driver appointments, and then we'll talk tomorrow at about 8:30 Eastern Standard Time also. So guys, ladies, thank you so much. Look at all the videos and look at that stand store and tell me if there are other things you want. Don't use wax on the, yeah, you know what? That happened too. And we'll show that. Okay, good luck. Bye, guys. Thank you, all of you. Bye.